Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. For years, the cameras have rolled, the secrets have simmered, and the Brown family has crumbled in front of millions, but finally, the gloves have come off. In a surprising and incredibly raw statement that fans have been waiting years for, one of the Brown women has now broken her silence and stated unequivocally, "I don't like Kody and Robyn." This announcement did not come quietly or without consequences. It happened in the midst of a furious confrontation, shattering the thin veneer of tranquility the family had sought to preserve since their plural marriage began to unravel. With years of buried frustration, emotional neglect, and carefully controlled public appearances finally coming to light, this encounter was not only long overdue, but also unavoidable. The woman in issue, renowned for her calm attitude and quiet strength, had now reached her breaking point. Her voice, steady but sharp, cut through the air like a knife as she looked Kody Brown in the eyes and told him what viewers had long suspected, that his favoritism for Robyn, lack of accountability, and abandonment of his responsibilities to the rest of his family had driven a wedge that could never be repaired. "You made your choice a long time ago," she murmured, her eyes misting but not falling. "You chose her. And I'm done pretending I'm fine with it." Robyn sat astonished, her eyes wide, as if she couldn't believe the words were being spoken aloud, on television, in front of the entire world. For years, she had been portrayed, sometimes affectionately, sometimes not, as the beloved wife. The woman Kody seemed to revolve around her while his other marriages failed. She frequently stated that she never wanted to be treated differently, but her actions revealed a different story, one of silent manipulation, weeping blame-shifting, and a firm grip on Kody's attention. The confrontation occurred during what was supposed to be a typical family meeting, ironically intended to discuss the sale of Coyote Pass and the family's alleged future, but instead evolved into a battlefield of buried resentments and long-festering scars. Voices were raised, truths were hurled, and for once, the woman who had always maintained composure refused to back down. She described how she had been gaslit for years, how her worries had been rejected, how Kody had stopped attempting to confront anyone who challenged him, and how Robyn's presence had become a symbol of everything that had gone wrong. "You don't respect me," she informed Kody directly. "And you haven't for years. I was good enough when I was raising your children, keeping the house running, and supporting your polygamous fantasy. But the instant I asked for something back, emotional support, time, or effort, you disappeared. You stopped seeing me. You stopped loving me. And I witnessed it in real time." The cameras caught Kody's face twisted in irritation, as his normal defensiveness flared. He tried to deflect, to make it about COVID, betrayal, and how everyone misinterpreted his intentions, but the woman wouldn't let him off the hook this time. She interrupted him, her voice filled with righteous rage. "Kody, this is not about the pandemic. It's about how you were seeking for an excuse to run. You always wanted to be a monogamist, and Robyn offered you the break you needed." The air in the room became charged with tension as the rest of the family sat silently, startled. Nobody had ever challenged Kody so directly before. Nobody had dared to say the words that everyone else seemed to avoid. Robyn, who was typically quick to respond with a soft-spoken argument or an emotional appeal, was mute. Perhaps she understood deep down that everything was true. The wall hanging in their foyer, bizarrely ornamented with seashells and gems, a symbolic centerpiece that had generated conversations among followers online, suddenly took on a more frightening meaning. It felt like a monument to a tie based on exclusion rather than unity, not plural marriage but preferential treatment. It was more than just decor. It was a remnant of the schism that had developed, shell by shell, between Robyn and the rest of the family. In the days following the confrontation, social media exploded. Longtime Sister Wives fans filled the comment sections with support for the woman who dared to say what needed to be said. "Finally, someone said it," one spectator commented. "We've all seen it, how Robyn became the queen and the rest were left behind." Others noticed that Kody's reply further emphasized her point, with many criticizing his refusal to accept responsibility for the damage he caused. What made this moment so dramatic was not only the rage, but also the truth behind it. The woman was not acting out for publicity or out of spite. She was speaking from years of heartache, from the agony of seeing a man she once trusted turn into someone she couldn't recognize. She wasn't simply ending a marriage. She was reclaiming her voice, story, and inner serenity. "I'm not bitter," she remarked calmly as the confrontation began to cool off. "I am simply done. And being finished feels like liberation." The tragedy left the family in shock. Kody retreated into silence, visibly startled by the severe honesty he had received. Robyn, heartbroken but still unable to comprehend the gravity of what had been stated, reportedly cried for hours following, stating she never wanted to be the wedge. But, whether deliberate or not, the harm had already been done, and the confrontation demonstrated that no amount of tears could wipe away years of inequity and neglect. The woman who broke her silence made it obvious that she was not coming back. Not to the marriage. Not to the dysfunction. Not to be the silent suffering. She had discovered her strength, and with it came clarity. "I deserve love that doesn't make me feel like an option," she stated in a somber moment that will certainly be remembered as one of the most powerful in the show's history. And as the credits rolled, fans realized they had just watched the beginning of the end, not only of a romance, but of the carefully crafted fiction that Kody and Robyn's love was without consequence. The seashell wall hanging, previously regarded as unique and personal, now served as a disturbing reminder of what had been lost: trust, unity, and the dream of a family that no longer exists. In its stead, there is something more authentic, honest, and compelling: the story of a woman who eventually said enough is enough. In the days following the confrontation, everything felt different. The air around the Brown family was not only thick, but also packed with hidden facts, lingering animosity, and an unmistakable clarity. The woman who spoke up wasn't simply one wife among many, she became the voice for every moment of silence the others had experienced. Her bravery ignited a fire that had been waiting to flare for years, and it wasn't long before the ripple effects began to undermine the very foundation of the Brown family's remaining members. Behind the scenes, the aftermath was as hectic as fans had anticipated. TLC insiders discussed stressful production meetings and cast members refusing to film together. Even the most experienced crew members acknowledged they'd never witnessed such raw passion displayed in front of cameras. What was supposed to be a routine family update turned into a watershed moment that altered the show's plot. And at the center of it all was the woman who had previously been regarded as the most loyal, now reclaiming herself, rewriting her history, and refusing to be reduced to merely another chapter in Kody Brown's story. Robyn, who was once known for her tears and soft-spoken demeanor, found herself under more scrutiny than ever before. Her long-standing protestations of seeking peace and sisterhood were hollow in light of what had just happened. Fans who had previously sympathized with her were now demanding explanations. How could she not have seen what was happening? One popular Reddit thread asked. Was it ignorance, or was it strategic silence? As people rewatched previous episodes with a fresh perspective, many began to connect dots that had always been there: Robyn's subtle eye rolls when others talked, her emotional monopolization of Kody's time, and the way he defended her with vehemence he never offered to the others.